It's Hi everyone, it's Janette Burke here, and I'm terribly sorry for being about 4 minutes late today for Dear Janette at live at 3 o'clock. I had a few technical issues, but I am working them out. Um, Anyway, for those of you who are joining me live right now, thank you so much. And please, feel free to chat, put a chat comment in the chat or ask me questions and let me know that you're here. And if you're coming back on replay, let me know that too. I'd really appreciate it. So, I am Janette Burke, and I am a media personality, a producer, an interviewer, an on camera media trainer, and I'm the host and creator of the 4-time award winning lifestyle web TV series, Janette's TV, and its sister spinoff, Janette's TV Podcast. So, this is the Dear Janette series, and the Dear Janette series was created basically to provide you and help you with looking, sounding, and feeling your best on camera. So, I give you on camera media training tips. We also talk about what to expect in the media, how the media works, if you're looking to get into the media, maybe some myths you don't know about the media, or maybe you believe to be true but aren't actually true about the media. Um, and it's also where I share like my best on camera presentation and performance tips so that you can look, sound, and feel your best every single time you go on camera. And whatever that purpose is for, it could be because you're making your own video and lives on social. It could be because you want to embark upon a media tour. And why wouldn't you? It's one of the best ways to be seen, to be known and be heard, and to get visibility and eyeballs and publicity and exposure for your business and your brand. It could also be because you're doing meetings on a Zoom or a similar platform and you need to be better when you do it. There's lots of different reasons for why we go on camera, why we make our own videos and lives on social media, and so on and so forth. So that's the purpose of Dear Jeanette, and that's why I pop in here every week at 3 o'clock to share these tips with you. Now, today's training is all about the elements of a great pitch or of a pitch that the media say yes to, or that producers say yes to. And as a producer and a media personality, I have some extensive experience on this. I'm constantly pitched, so I can speak with some authority when I tell you that this is what we look for. So the first thing we look for is, what is your story? Is it a newsworthy story? And what is your angle and hook? So, how are you pitching this story? And we look to see if what you're pitching us actually fits what we typically cover on our shows or in our publications. So, when I say shows, I mean could be a TV show, could be a radio show, could be a podcast. When I say publications, it could be any form of print. So, an e-zine, a blog, a journal, a magazine, a newspaper, so on and so forth. So, when you pitch us, the first thing we look at is, what are you pitching us? And what is this story? What is your hook and your angle? What is your spin? What is your take? How do you present this story? And that usually starts with the headline and goes from there. But we're more than just looking at your actual story and your hook and your pitch. We're looking at, what is it and how does that particular theme or storyline fit with our shows and what we cover on the shows. So, the type of topics we feature, the type of guests that we feature. Because many times we are pitched from people who just want to be on our shows, but they have no real understanding or reasoning for why they want to be on our show. And during the pitch period, it's pretty evident that they've never even watched the show or read the publication or heard the show or whatever. They just want to be on the show. They have no idea why. Maybe it's because they think, being in front of our audience is great, which it is, obviously, to get new audiences or new eyeballs and new ears on your products and services, but they have to be the right eyes and the right audience and the right ears. And that's a whole other topic that I think I'm going to wait to talk in separately. Just do a Dear Janette one day on that, about matching your target market. But it's pretty evident when you haven't done your homework and when you know nothing about the show that you're pitching or the publication that you're pitching. And so that already is going to be a strike against you because you haven't been able to tie your topic to what we are actually about. And sending in a pitch something about, oh, I'm so great for your show, or trying to hit up a producer on LinkedIn or Facebook in the DMs and say, hey, I see you have a show and I love the idea that you have a show. Can I be a guest on your show? Can I be a guest on your podcast? Isn't really going to take you all that far. It may, the first couple of times, it may be for smaller outlets or smaller podcasts that really are kind of more desperate for guests or don't have the big following, but it's certainly not going to fly for major media outlets or for big podcasts or for big shows that have that kind of following and that do have a steady stream of episodes and guests and that do have a way or a formula of featuring certain types of guests and certain types of topics. So it's on you to prove that you've done your homework and that you know what you're doing and you know something about our shows before you actually pitch us. And that your story is relevant to the topics that we feature and the type of guests that we feature. When you're creating your pitch, it's also a really good idea to make sure that you have the correct name and email address of the person you're actually pitching. So nothing sort of peeves us more than knowing that the person that's contacting us doesn't know anything about us, hasn't even bothered to make sure that we are the right beat, the right person to be contacting to actually pitch to. Again, it shows that you've done no homework. So not only do you not know anything about the show and the topics and the guests that we feature, but you don't even know who you're pitching. And so that already is, yeah, that's a nay. That's going to go to a pile where we say, yeah, no, not going to happen. So get it right because it's really important, and get the name right and get the person right. And the thing is, that also requires a little bit of research because oftentimes in the media, journalists are being moved around or switched to different beats. By beat, I mean sometimes it's like they cover lifestyle, sometimes they cover fashion, sometimes they cover sports. You have to know who you're pitching to. And you also have to know what kind of story do you actually have. So if you are a lifestyle story, you need to pitch to the lifestyle editor, producer, or associate producer. If you have a business story, and sometimes there's a crossover, you need to pitch to the appropriate business editor or business producer or associate business producer, and so on and so forth. So it's very important that you understand these things along with the media outlet that you're pitching and the person that you're pitching to. Next, you've got to be professional in your tone. So when you send me an email or a proper media pitch letter, it's got to be done in a certain way. There's a formula to it, and it's got to be professional. Not something that is just like a quick little DM or an email. Hey, I saw your show. I love what you're doing. Can I be a part of it? That tells me absolutely nothing about you, nothing about your topic, and it doesn't tell me why you should be a part of the show. So when you're doing a proper pitch, now this live is not about what to create a proper pitch or how to create a proper pitch. That we might do as another topic again another time. But there's lots of information out there too that you can Google about pitch letters and what goes in them, media pitch letters. For sure, you got to tell me why you think you would be a great guest on my show. And that would include your topic, your story, and things about you, like what kind of previous media experience have you had? Or why do you feel you'd be a good fit for my show? Or maybe something about what you can bring to the table. So bringing to the table to a show, yes, is partially you and the topic that you cover and why that would be a benefit. Please tell me why that would be a benefit to my audience. What do you think it's going to do for my audience? Because these are all going to be things I'm going to look for as a producer to say, yes, I'm going to take this person, or I'm intrigued by them, or I'm not. And it's going to be the same thing that my colleagues are either going to say yes to or no to. And really, it does make the difference between a pitch that gets a second glance and one that's like deleted instantly. So we want to know some things, and it's up to you to provide the information and the answers and to show that you've done your homework as to why you are a fit, why your topic is a fit, what other things you can bring to the table, why this is going to be beneficial to my audience members. Maybe even show me that you have some kind of social media following and that you're willing to promote to that following that you are going to be a guest on my show. And how is that going to benefit me? Like, tell me something about your audience and let me see if that meets and matches mine. And that would be the same thing for any other media outlet. They'd be looking for that kind of stuff. So we've covered like 90% of what needs to go into a pitch. Some other last minute things would be like if you have sort of an audience giveaway you could bring in a non salesy way, because again, we're not there. The media doesn't exist just to give you free publicity. We are there to introduce you to new audiences and to have you eyeballs on your product and services, but it has to be done in the form of a story, not in the form of an infomercial. And we do not exist to close business for you. So we don't want you coming on being a, very